Welcome to The Explainer. So, today we're diving into this really powerful story about what happens when you're facing crushing pressure, total failure, and you have to find some kind of strength from within. So, let's just start with this question. Imagine a world where success is everything, and you are seen as a complete failure. That's the world we're stepping into. We begin right in the middle of a huge family argument, and at the very center of this storm is a 17-year-old kid named Raj. And we're dropped right into this intense showdown between Raj's father, Kishan, and his uncle, Anuj. You can just feel the tension in the air. The whole argument is about Raj's future, or in their eyes, his pretty obvious lack of one. You can almost hear the desperation in his father's voice, can't you? Kishan is just pleading, holding on to his son's age as if saying, he's only 17, over and over again, will somehow protect him from the harsh reality they live in. But his brother, Anuj, is having none of it. He just cuts right through the emotion with this cold, brutal logic. For Anuj, it's not about how old Raj is, it's about survival. And in their world, if you don't have power, you might as well be dead. And this really gets to the heart of the matter, right? You've got these two totally opposite views clashing. On one side, you have Kishan's fatherly, protective love. He just wants to shield his son. And on the other, you have Anuj's view of a cruel, unforgiving world. It's love versus a very harsh reality. And this is where Anuj's logic goes to a really, really dark place. He actually says it would be better, a mercy even, to end Raj's life. At least that way, he argues, their family name wouldn't be dragged through the mud. It's just a shocking thing to say, but it shows you how incredibly high the stakes are. So, this private family drama, it's about to go public. Big time. For poor Raj, the walls are absolutely closing in on him from every side. And just to pile on the pressure, Raj's friend, Kaichi, reminds him that the Shakti Pradarshan is coming up. This isn't some optional talent show. It's a mandatory, public ritual where every kid has to get up on a stage and show everyone what they've got. For Raj, it must feel less like a competition and more like a countdown to a public execution. And look at this gap. I mean, it's not even a gap, it's a canyon. He's literally at level 0. His peers, the average kids, are already at level 2 or 3. And then there's Shakuntala, the girl he looks up to, who's way up at level 4. The distance between him and everyone else just seems impossible to cross. So you can just imagine how Raj feels about this, right? He's completely given up hope. He's not thinking, oh, maybe I can do it. No. For him, this whole thing is a joke. It's just a stage for his guaranteed public failure. And all of this pressure, all this weight, it all comes to a head in the one place it'll hurt the most. A direct and honestly painful confrontation with the person whose opinion matters more than anyone else's. His father. And his own father corners him. And what he says just has to be devastating. He echoes the exact same fears as his uncle Anuj. He's not asking about Raj's struggle. He's talking about the family's honor, the ancestor's name being disgraced. And at this point, Raj he breaks. He's in tears, confessing that it's not for lack of trying. He's practiced every single night, pushed himself as hard as he could, and he's gotten nowhere. Not even to the first level. It's just a moment of complete and utter vulnerability. But then, something happens. Right here, at his lowest point, backed into a corner, something snaps. He makes a vow. And notice, it's not a promise to succeed. He doesn't know if that's even possible. It's a promise of pure, total, unconditional effort. And that desperate promise, made in a moment of despair, it changes everything. It becomes this vow, forged in the fire of his own failure. Later that night, he's alone, and this one question is just eating him alive. Was I born just for this, to fail? It's the kind of raw, painful question you ask when you've hit rock bottom. But what's so incredible is how he answers that question. His vow starts to change. It's no longer just a promise to his dad or about saving the family name. It goes deeper. It becomes something incredibly personal, a vow to prove his own worth, to himself. And there's this really powerful image of him just watching a single flame flicker. The fear of what everyone else thinks starts to fade away. And in its place, this one single-minded goal takes over, to push himself past his limits, just for himself. It's like that little flame is igniting something inside of him too. So this is where the story leaves us, with this really big question. Suddenly, this isn't just about a boy with no powers. It becomes a question for all of us, doesn't it? When the whole world has written you off, when every external measure says you're worthless, where do you find that spark? Where does true strength really begin?